On July 24th, we're going to have an energizing, inspiring new moon in the bold, playful, and sometimes dramatic fire sign of Leo. What I love about this new moon is that several outer planets are harmonizing beautifully, supporting us to set a new course. However, the new moon opposite Pluto retrograde in Aquarius is sending up a red flag to show us what needs to be cleared, what's not healthy for us before we can fully set sail. So in this video, my friend, I am excited to share with you who will most feel this new moon in Leo, the themes and planetary aspects, and how we can best navigate these energies with the most ease and grace. And in part 2, I will be doing readings for all 12 signs and pulling an oracle card for each of the 12 signs as well. Watch part 1 of this video so you get the full scoop on how you can make the most of this lunation, because if you jump to your 12 sign readings, you're going to miss a lot of the nuances and my tips on how you can best work with the energies. And I don't want you to miss that. So I absolutely love Leo energy. I am super excited for this Leo new moon. But before we dive in, I want to say hello and welcome. If you have just found the channel, I'm so glad you are here. If you're highly sensitive, empathic, on a spiritual journey or an ascension path, you're in the right place. You found your tribe. Take a moment right now to tap the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss a video. And a big thank you, as always, to those of you who have subscribed to the channel. I would not be here without you, and we are all doing this together. I'm Betsy. I am a psychic astrologer, intuitive life coach, and author, and it is my passion and dedication to empower, inspire, and uplift you through Western tropical astrology. I love meeting you on Zoom for one-on-one astrology consultations. So if you are intrigued, stay tuned till the end of the video. I'll share more about my astrology readings as well as my coaching offerings. And I have a free gift for you, so stay tuned to find out what that is and how you can get it. I write about the astrology between videos in my weekly inspirational astrology updates. If you'd like to receive those, go to my website, subscribe for free, and you'll get my free gift instant download at the same time. Now, all new moons begin a brand new cycle of manifestation. When the moon is new, it is dark. We can't see it in the sky. And as a result, we naturally go inward to reflect. A new moon is a beautiful time to set intentions for what you want to co-create with the divine over the next couple of weeks. It's a beautiful time to be talking with other people about what you want most in your life at this time, what feels missing, what your heart truly deeply longs for and desires. That's Leo energy. And you might want to create a vision board, do some journaling, story mapping, whatever you do to get closer to that inner knowing of your soul's direction. Also during a new moon, the sun and the moon are together, and the sun represents our inner masculine energy and the moon represents our inner feminine energy. So these two energies within all of us are on the same page. They're coming together. And this is important because the sun also represents our sense of identity and the moon represents our subconscious. And so part of this new moon reflection and intention setting is aligning our subconscious mind with our conscious mind, so that we can be a vibrational match for what our hearts most want. And during a fiery Leo new moon, this is especially important to get all parts of us on the same page and aligned, because Leo is connected to our hearts. It is ruled by the sun. In Leo energy, we say, shine your light bright. Leo energy furthers and supports our full, unbridled, authentic expression. I call it the sign of inner child delight. It's a let loose, have fun, be spontaneous. Don't hold back. Don't hide your light. Give yourself permission to strut your stuff. If you think of a 3-year-old child, they're going to say whatever comes to them. This is why we say kids say the funniest things, right? And during this Leo new moon, we are all supported to free our own inner 3-year-old. That truth, that spark, that joy, that aliveness, to give ourselves permission to let that come forth and shine brightly. Leo is also associated with the king or queen of the jungle, our spiritual royalty, holding ourselves in high esteem. So, wherever you have Leo in your natal astrology chart, this is where you may have a natural ability to lead others, where you may exude an air of confidence or authority, or where you're willing to be bold. But in this area of your chart, my friend, it's where you're meant to take charge of your life, to radiate your natural warmth and generosity. And when you're challenged, to call on your inner courage, your heart, to rise to the occasion and overcome adversity. And wherever this new moon is happening for you, which I'm going to share with you in the 12 sign readings, this is where I hope you will give yourself a permission slip to take your freedom of expression, your creativity to the next level of joy, inspiration, delight. Basically saying yes to your heart if you haven't been doing so. Now, if you've been watching my videos, you may know, because I've shared this before, both of my parents were Leos. What they gave me was the gift of spontaneity. And even more important, the knowing that when life gets dicey, when something doesn't go the way we wanted it to, it means it's time for an upgrade. In other words, to treat yourself better or do something that's going to take you into a higher vibrational place, because that's what your heart needs, to put your heart first. Now, the shadow side of Leo can be too much pride or arrogance. And because we're often stepping out of our comfort zone and maybe taking chances in Leo energy, when we do succeed, when we do go the extra mile, it really helps, in my own experience, to give yourself an atta girl or an atta boy, to say, good job, you did it. And I try to incorporate that into my days, even because one of the most important needs that each of us has is to feel appreciated. And especially in Leo energy, when does the shadow of Leo tend to come out? When we feel unappreciated, when we feel unseen. That's when we can see the overly prideful or the arrogant behavior of that lion at the top of the mountain licking their wounds. So when we're not getting that appreciation and love and recognition from others, giving it to ourselves can go a long way in building that inner self-love muscle. Because Leo is associated with the 5th house of creativity, and we are all creative beings. You don't have to be an artist to be creative. Creativity, children, love, and romance. This is a great new moon to ask yourself, and these could be journal prompts for you. Am I having enough fun? Am I giving myself enough timeouts for pleasure, for joy, for doing something just because it lights me up? In other words, do I feel a zest for life? Do I feel that joie de vivre that is associated with 5th house energy? And I share these questions with you because if not, your inner child, my friend, could be on strike. And what happens when our inner child's on strike? We lack motivation. We don't know what our passion is. It's harder to tune into what that deep soul's desire for this new course that we're setting, what that is when our inner child's on strike. So who will most feel this new moon in Leo? It is happening at 2 degrees. So those of you who have planets or points between 0 and 6 degrees of the fixed signs, Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, or Taurus, you will feel this new moon most intensely, most personally. Also, those of you who have planets or points between 28 and 29 degrees of the cardinal signs, Cancer, Capricorn, Aries, or Libra, you will also feel this new moon more intensely, more personally. But of course, we all have 2 degrees of Leo someplace in our natal astrology chart. And in this house where you have 2 degrees of Leo, this is where you're going to feel, at the very least, the themes of the new moon energies that I just shared. Keep in mind that the 12 sign readings I'm going to do are based on how this new moon is aspecting your rising sign. You have many other planets and points in your natal astrology chart. So this new moon could be aspecting any of those. And so you could be activated in different houses of your chart during this new moon. And this is something that I can illuminate for you in an astrology consultation. Now, let's talk about the aspects to this new moon because they are quite exciting. Why do I say exciting? Because we have a number of outer planets that are talking to this new moon. Neptune, Saturn, Uranus, all in air and fire signs, which means that this new moon is harmonizing with them, and this is very supportive, but we also have a challenging aspect from Pluto and Aquarius. So I'm going to touch on all of these because they're quite important. First of all, both Neptune and Saturn during this new moon are retrograde in the sign of Aries, fellow fire sign. Neptune, very close to Saturn at this time, together are helping us to birth a new dream into reality. Make something real. Make a heart's desire or a deep longing, Neptune, real, Saturn. This new moon in Leo, conversing with Neptune and Saturn, they're making a trine with one another. A trine is the most harmonious aspect. It is ease and flow. It is the wind filling up your sails. And so this aspect should make us feel quite good. Now, Neptune and Saturn are retrograde. So how does this affect this transit? It means that our forward momentum may feel more internal. We may get more insights. We may have an easier time doing research, exploring possibilities, clearing fears, or clearing the cobwebs out of the way. For some of us, letting something from our past go, Neptune. It may be that much easier to get clarity from our hearts during this new moon. And for those of you who are wondering, Saturn is going to station direct on November 28th, and Neptune will station direct on December 10th. And this new moon is also speaking to electrical Uranus, now in Gemini. And they are very close together in orb. The Gemini air to the Leo fire. We know what air and fire do. They spark each other. They bring new excitement. And Uranus, when it's making a sextile, which is what this aspect is, it's very positive ease and flow, but we have to take some initiative. We do have to be looking for an answer or asking a question. It's not something automatically landing in our lap. It's more like, I think I do want to take a vacation right now. I wonder if there are any deals. And then you get online and you get the last seat on the plane at a great fare going to your desired destination. The new moon sextiling Uranus in Gemini is very likely to bring a revelation, an epiphany, an aha moment, a spiritual awakening for some of us. Whatever it is, it's enlivening, it's uplifting, and very possibly something you haven't thought of before. This is what I love about Uranus and Gemini. It's going to show us a new way of thinking about something. We want to stay open. We want to keep our minds open to new possibilities. But because Uranus represents novelty, innovation, being inventive, revolutionary even, there is a sense here, there's an invitation to us opening up to miracle consciousness. And what is miracle consciousness? Being open to seeing something that you didn't see before. Or we could think of this as our vibration wasn't a match before, but now it is, because Uranus raises the vibration. And during this new moon, it's going to help us, by opening us up to a higher vibrational frequency, help us to be more of a match for what our hearts most want. And to see that this new moon is not only trining Neptune and Saturn, two of the planets that are helping us jumpstart this new era, and sextiling Uranus and Gemini, also helping us jumpstart a new era. That shows us that this new moon is an open gateway. It is a new portal, supporting us that much more to move toward that future vision. And because it is extremely rare that we have had so many outer planets changing signs in the same year, this is a time that we're going to look back on in history and say that was a time of huge global change. And it's not just 2025. In many ways, we may feel this more intensely in 2026 when Neptune and Saturn make their exact conjunction February 2026. But because this is happening, this massive shift on an outer level, it's reflective of the shift that is happening within many of us on an inner level, especially if you have planets or points in the very early degrees of any of the signs, really, because the mutables, the cardinals, and the fixed energies are all playing a part in this harmonious dance, ushering us into brand new soul territory. So open up to new opportunities, new solutions, things you didn't see before, miracle consciousness. Now, I also have to mention that during this new moon, Mercury is in Leo. It's co-present with the new moon. They are far apart in degrees, but Mercury is retrograde. So I want to mention this because Mercury rules our thinking. It rules our transactions. It rules the moves we make. And because it's retrograde, we are more looking back in our thoughts than we are looking forward. Or we're looking forward, but we're fine-tuning. We're going back over that dream that we want to create, we're going back over, maybe we're checking in and asking ourselves, do I really still desire this? Is this still in my heart of hearts what I most want? Especially for those of you who may be reevaluating a relationship or your job or anything that's important in your life. You could definitely feel with Mercury retrograde during this new moon that you are in a period of reevaluation. Now, as much as I am very excited about all the harmonious energy that is going on between the new moon and Neptune, Saturn, and Uranus, we do have one challenging aspect, and that is Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. And most of us know from personal experience, Pluto is a potent energy. The new moon will oppose Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. What does this mean? I call Pluto the great detoxifier. Pluto only brings pain to our lives when there is something that is unhealthy or toxic for us, or it can bring up dark fears that are not necessarily going to play out, but fears from past chapters of our lives, past lives themselves, that we have to clear in order to be a vibrational match for what our hearts most want. Pluto is also very passionate and intense. It can pull us forward. With Pluto energy, we're either being pushed by pain or pulled forward by a passionate vision. So if you are getting any challenging aspects from Pluto to any planets or points in your natal astrology chart, you may feel emotionally triggered during this new moon. You may feel that someone else has the power. You could feel like someone is opposing you. Someone does not have your back. They do not have your best interest at heart. Pluto rules our most primal attachments, our money, long-term assets, emotional and sexual intimacy, shared resources with other people. In Pluto energy, we don't want anyone to move our cheese. If you read that book or heard of it, Don't Move My Cheese. We want to keep our cheese. So this could show up for you as a power struggle with another person. Pluto can bring shocks. It can feel like another person involved or a company, institution, and they are somehow pulling the rug out from underneath you. Or it could be a messy, complicated situation that underlying or within it has a lot of passion, but it still makes you feel powerless or you feel disrespected. And so my prescription for a hard Pluto transit is one word: boundaries. Taking self-respecting action. I love the question, what would self-love do here? Take extra good care of your precious self. Put your own emotional well-being first. Do not allow anyone else or anyone else's behavior to affect your emotional well-being. Easier said than done, I know. This is why I love the Serenity Prayer, which encourages us to tap into divine support, to give us the courage to change the things that we have control over and to let go of the things that we don't. Big picture, what's a hard Pluto transit showing us? Why is it even part of this gorgeous new moon? It's showing us anything that we need to release if we are to move forward on our evolutionary soul growth. It's helping us clear out anything that is not in alignment with who we are now. And I do have a video for you on hard Pluto transits that a lot of people have found quite comforting. I go into some of my hardest Pluto transits as well and offer you some comfort and advice for navigating them. That is linked in the description box below. So my tips for you for this overall beautiful full moon in Leo. How can we take advantage of this Leo energy? Let it ignite your heart, my friend. Let it get your creative juices flowing. Any voices that are saying, no, you can't have that, any naysaying thoughts, clear those out of the way. Take what is inspiring you, moving you. Take that and follow the thread of that inspiration. Because we don't know. Truly, we don't know where this is going. Neptune and Saturn are retrograde. Pluto and Aquarius is retrograde. Mercury's retrograde. We don't know the whole story yet. So why not take some time to feed what the universe is giving you, what your heart is giving you, what your soul is giving you, to feed that inspiration? Because remember, with the outer planets, we have a minor grand trine, all of the outer planets harmonizing with one another, working together to support our creative power, to bring our new vision into form, into reality. Okay, my friend, let us do the 12 sign readings now for this beautiful Leo new moon. Listen to your rising sign. That is the house in which this new moon is happening for you based on the whole sign house system that is corresponding to the area of life, the themes in your life that I'm going to speak about in these readings. Also, watch your sun sign and your moon sign for further intuitive messages and themes that may very well be accurate for you for this new moon as well. So let's start with Leo, because beautiful Leo, this is your new moon. And when this new moon is happening, it is Leo season. So happy birthday to all of you beautiful Leos. I hope you have the most wonderful birthday. Leo, you're going to have your new moon in your first house, the first house of you. All new moons in the first house are brand new beginnings. They are times that you are coming out. Everything that I shared in the first part of this video, and if you didn't watch that, please go back, because that's where I go into all the nuances of this new moon. But everything that I shared is telling you to give yourself a permission slip to express your free, unbridled, shine your light self, beautiful Leo, to really allow yourself. Here's the thing, with Uranus and Gemini now, and Uranus and Gemini making a lovely harmonious aspect to this new moon, we are meant to move toward our future self. We are meant to let our future self guide us forward. So you could experience a new role in your life. You could say, I need to end a role. You could end a relationship. You could have a vision for a new relationship. And this is all kinds of relationships. I'm not just talking romantic partnerships. You could change your job. You could change your look. The first house is connected to our appearance, our vitality, our look, how you feel in your body. You could set intentions during this new moon because it's about co-creating a brand new beginning. You could set intentions to revitalize your health. You could set an intention to do something that's more creative, do something that, and I'm talking again, this could be something that you do for fun. This could be, maybe you have a corporate job and it's stifling you a little bit and you need to spend more time in your off time doing things that are very nurturing and feeding of your true heart. You get the idea, Leo. It can affect any area of your life. So you may decide you want to move. You may decide you want to change your job or career. You may want to start your own business. You may decide that there are new changes in your relationship or relationship patterns or dynamics, or your physical vitality, health, and all of that. It's every area of your chart really can be impacted by a new moon in your sign, in your first house, beautiful Leo. So let us pull a card for you and see what the cards have to say for this new moon. It's an exciting time. Leo, this may be one of the most exciting new moons for you because this is the first time that we have so many planets, outer planets and brand new signs harmonizing with this new moon energy. So it's quite a special new moon. Beautiful Leo. And yes, if you feel the Pluto energy, you know, Pluto can be that detoxifying energy. If you feel that during this new moon, then it is showing you what needs to be cleared. It is showing you what isn't healthy and what is. Okay, so now I am going to pull a card, beautiful Leo. Leo, your card is trust. Trust the process. You know, I think a lot of us right now feel like we're navigating through moonlight, like we can only see what's right ahead of us. Why is that? Because we are in a big time of change. This is a time of massive global change. Like I said in the first part of this video, we are going to be looking back on this time as an historical shift in our world history. We will look back and say that. And that is why, if you feel like you don't fully know where you're going or you don't fully know what you want right now, remember, Mercury is retrograde in your sign, Leo. When Mercury is retrograde, our minds don't always fully know or see what we need to know or see to take action. So don't put pressure on yourself during this new moon to take action. It's a time to reflect. It's a time to dream. It's a time to daydream. It's a time to get close to your heart, to relieve your heart of any burdens, and to give yourself the permission to embrace what your heart truly, deeply desires. Beautiful Leo. Cancer. Hello, beautiful Cancer. Cancer, you are going to have this new moon in Leo in your second house. Your second house is the house of material security. So this will be up for you during this new moon. This is your earned income, self-love, deserving self-worth, your values, and aligning your life with your values. It's an important new moon for Cancers because Cancer, I mean, I'm Cancer rising, Cancer moon, so I have been feeling this for a while. Let me know if you have too. I believe that Cancers have really been focused on their material security for a while. You may have been more focused on your income. You may have been more focused on saving money, on saving for retirement, for example, or saving for a project or a trip or something that you really want. Just feeling stable and secure financially. This has been a theme for Cancers for quite some time now, and it's going to be amplified during this new moon because Pluto is opposite the new moon, but also because so many outer planets, the heavy hitters, so to speak, in the picture of this 2025 massive global change, they are harmonizing and really supporting us during this new moon. So because new moons are about setting intentions and creating a new manifestational cycle and really getting clear on what our hearts most desire, especially during this new moon with Mercury retrograde, you may be once again feeling these themes, and you may want to change how you earn money, or you may want to earn money from a different source, start a side gig, change your job, ask for a promotion. You may feel a sudden, or it could be sudden with Uranus and Gemini aspecting this new moon. You could feel a sudden welling up of, I deserve to earn more money. I've been under earning. I'm going to ask more. I'm going to raise my rates if you're self-employed, or I'm going to get a new job or start my own business if I don't feel like my current employer is paying me what I know I deserve. You could have an epiphany, Cancer, around this new moon time about where you haven't felt a sense of deserving, and really shift that for yourself. Your thinking, your heart, your own sense of self-worth could really shift for the positive during this new moon as well. This is a great new moon to do affirmations. This is a great new moon to claim your abundance and do any kind of programming, reprogramming of your mind around money, earning, worth, all of that. Or Cancer, because you are so connected to home and wanting a beautiful home, you could have themes come up around your home and having the money to improve your home or buy a new home or make a move. That kind of thing could be up for you as well. So Cancer, let's pull a card for you and see what the cards have to say. I love this new moon for all the reasons that I shared in part 1 of this video. If you didn't watch that, I encourage you to go back and watch it, because there's a lot of power from the outer planets to this new moon. And there's the Pluto opposition, which is something some of us will navigate as well. And I share how you can do that with the most ease and grace. I share that in part 1 of the video. So let's see what the cards have to say for you, Cancer. But overall, I feel that this new moon we're very supported to change our thinking. Miracle consciousness, as I share in part 1. Okay. Cancer, look what we got. Delight. Look at this. This is the fresh breeze of Uranus and Gemini making a gorgeous sextile to this new moon. And delight is a key word for Leo. It really is Leo energy. Give this to yourself, beautiful Cancer. If you're not getting enough of this, it's time to get out amongst the birds and the wildflowers and the fresh air, whatever would bring you delight. If anything I shared resonates and you would like to comment, I would love to hear. Leave me a comment down below. Gemini. Hello, beautiful Gemini. Gemini, you're going to experience this new moon in your 3rd house of moving and shaking. A new moon, any lunation, new or full, is often quite busy with a 3rd house new moon. Why? Because it rules our thinking, our communication. Also, Mercury is retrograde during this new moon, and you are Mercury ruled. And so what I love about the Mercury retrograde is it makes a sextile. Leo energy makes a sextile to your energy. So I think that that will soften any Mercury retrograde annoyances for us Geminis. And by the way, I have my natal sun in Gemini. But this new moon is supporting you in any themes having to do with the third house. So this would be getting out and being social, having the coffee dates, doing your meetups, networking with other people, putting your ideas into motion, receiving ideas from the divine, receiving epiphanies and revelations from Uranus and Gemini, having a harmonious dance with this new moon, short trips, relationships with siblings, aunts, uncles, or cousins. Very likely people from your past will come back into your life, if even momentarily, a quick phone call or a message on social media, whatever it is, because it is Mercury retrograde. Geminis, we are used to that, right? If you want to create a new website or edit your website or teach a course, write a blog, start a book, any of these things are very much favored by this new moon. It's a brand new manifestational cycle. It's time to get clear by reflecting on what you most want. And this is a house that is connected to growth and learning and expansion as well. Also, freelance work, Gemini. If you do freelance work, this is positive for any work that you do with other people where you are your own boss. And it's also positive for getting jobs, contract work through employers as a freelancer. Also deciding if your electronics are up to par for you. You may be thinking about getting a new device or a new car. So Gemini, let me pull a card for you now and see what the cards have to say. I go all into the aspects to this new moon in part 1. There are a lot of wonderful harmonious aspects and a challenging one from Pluto. I highly encourage you to watch that if you haven't already, if you want the full scoop on this new moon. Gemini, your card is abundance. Yes, I'm doing the abundance dance. Here you go, Gemini. This is, this is similar to the delight card that Cancer just got. So this new moon energy, I'm really liking the cards that are coming out. This is really beautiful. Are you ready to claim your abundance? Are you ready to dance in the wildflowers, to dance freely? Gemini, Uranus is now in your sign. That is a big deal. That's a really big deal. I have 2 videos on Uranus and Gemini, and those of you who have planets or points from 0 to 5 degrees even, you may be feeling this, especially if it's like 0 to 2 degrees, you have to be feeling this Uranus and Gemini right now. It does amplify the nervous system. It does change things up for us when it makes an exact conjunction or a close conjunction to a planet or point in our chart. So watch those videos if you haven't already, or one of them. But what I want to say is that this is Gemini's time with Uranus and Gemini. This is your time to claim your abundance. So if you want to claim this in the comments below, let us know. I would love to hear. Taurus, hello, beautiful Taurus. Taurus, you are going to experience this new moon in Leo in your 4th house of home, family, childhood conditioning, and the healing that we do on our inner child. The painful things that can happen to us in our childhood or in past lifetimes even. This is the house of ancestral healing. This is the house of the mother. This is the house of roots and belonging. So this is a new moon that is encouraging you to pay attention to your home or family or both and what your heart most wants. Leo is all about taking care of your heart, ruled by the sun, shining your light, giving yourself a permission slip to have what you most desire. Beautiful Taurus. Do you want to move? Do you want to redecorate your home? Do you want to feel a deeper sense of rootedness or belonging where you live? Are you ready to do some healing on the mother line, for example? Or on your own heart, maybe. I mean, Leo, after all, very much connected to the heart. Whatever it is that you want, you will take action around this new moon time, most likely because it squares your energy, and squares put us in a feeling of, it's often tension or pressure. It's a feeling of, I've got to do something to relieve this tension or pressure. And quite honestly, I think squares are the things that help us to get things done. Without squares, there is a lot that would just go by the wayside, Taurus. So a square is not bad at all. In fact, I find often that it's a square that gets me out of my comfort zone and has me taking the action that my heart's been truly wanting to take for some time. So squares are very motivating, and I love them for that. So whatever your heart most wants around home, family, or what would make you feel most rooted, this is the time to be setting those intentions, creating a vision board, doing what you like to do, visualizing what your heart most wants, perhaps getting in the energy, feeling it in every cell of your body. Let's see what the cards have to say for you, Taurus. Your card is pleasure. Oh my goodness. I'm liking the cards that are coming out for this new moon. I'm loving the cards that are coming out for this new moon. Look at this card. This is a gateway. This is a portal you are walking through. The deer. The deer represents gentleness. I see so many deer in the area that I'm living right now. They are so sweet. I stop. I look into their eyes. I whisper things to them. I'm just sending them love, and that's what they're sending back to us. They are such elegant, sweet, sweet creatures. Oh my gosh. So I love this because you might want to call on the deer as your totem. You may want to ask the deer for its wisdom, but know that the qualities of the deer, the gentleness, the innocence, the sweetness, the softness, they are accompanying you as you are walking through this portal into the next greatest vision or version of who you came here to be, beautiful Taurus. It is time to walk into this very fertile, abundant, pleasure-filled territory. And if you want to claim your pleasure, in the comments below, let us know. Aries, hello, beautiful Aries. Aries, you're going to experience this Leo new moon in your 5th house of love, romance, creativity, children, inner child delight, unbridled, free expression. This is such a beautiful house. I know if you've been watching my videos, you know that I'm very fond of the 5th house. And it's a wonderful house in which to have a new moon. What is this new moon saying? It's saying this is a brand new cycle of manifestation. What do you want to create? What do you want to co-create with your spirit? Is there a creative project that you want to bring forth? Are there children in your life that you want to nurture or that you are finding yourself being nurtured by? Are you ready to start a new romance? Are you in a romance right now? And how is that going for you? Do you want to create a vision for love and romance in your life? Are you romancing yourself? This is Leo energy, and you already know this, Aries, because you are lucky to have Leo in your 5th house. That is the pure, for you, Aries, all of the signs based on your rising sign are in their pure energies, which is so beautiful. But Aries, you also need adventure and freedom. You need to be able to follow your inspiration. You are the sign of getting that fire lit inside of you and going for it, even though you don't know where it's going to lead you. You love challenges. You love rising to the occasion. And that's very Leo too. So you're getting a trine from this energy, the wind filling up your sails, pulling you forward. There is nothing I can say that is difficult about this, except that Pluto is opposing this new moon. And I talk about how we can best navigate these energies. If you experience this Pluto energy talking to any of your other planets or points in your natal astrology chart. Aries, overall, this is super supportive of all of the things that we call luscious in life. The 5 senses, that's the 5th house, is enjoying our 5 senses on this earthly playground. And if you don't have children or work with children, you may find yourself setting intentions that have to do with getting into greater touch with your own inner child or something perhaps that you loved to do when you were a kid. Okay, Aries, let us pull a card for you and see what the cards have to say. For your Leo new moon. Maybe you want to take a relationship that you're already in to the next level. Maybe you want to make your home more beautiful and romantic feeling. Romance is not just sparks with another person, right? Romance is also beauty. We can romance ourselves, as I talk about in my book, The Magic of Saying Yes. Okay. Aries. Inner peace. This is such a beautiful card. I always think of Pisces energy when I see this card because of the 2 fish swimming. But there is so much fertility in this card if you look at it closely. There are the water lilies. There are the flowers blooming. This is a very creative card. This is the house of creativity. Some of you may want to paint. Some of you may want to draw. Some of you may want to play with color. Even if you consider yourself to be not artistic, there's a lot you can do just by playing with color. I love watercolors. Just playing, just putting water on the page and letting my spirit choose the color and just putting the color on the paper. That can be so joyful for your inner child. That can be so inspiring for whatever you want to create in your life. Sometimes just letting loose and doing something that is childlike opens up possibilities for the other things in our life as well. It relaxes and soothes the mind, bringing us inner peace so that we can receive the clarity or the revelations that we are meant to receive around the things that really matter to us now. So if you want to claim your inner peace or anything else in the comments below, let us know, beautiful Aries. I would love to hear. Pisces. Hello, beautiful Pisces. Pisces, you are going to experience this Leo new moon in your 6th house of daily work, overall health and wellness. The 6th house is the house that brings in our work environment. It brings in coworkers. Basically, it's your lifestyle as well. It's like how do you want to structure your life, your routines, and your schedules so that you feel good, optimal health and wellness, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. If one of those areas is most up for you right now, or if your daily work or your schedules or any of that are up for you now, then this would be a beautiful new moon to set intentions for how you want to experience any aspect of your life, or maybe you want to create a new lifestyle, Pisces. Also, this is a new moon because of the Pluto opposition with the new moon. You may want to release something that you no longer need. And I know, Pisces, you've done a lot of releasing. You had so much energy in your sign for so long in those high degrees, and it was not easy. So I get that. But now that a lot of you have done a lot of that clearing, you may be in a place of really envisioning what you want your life to look like now. And the 6th house is very much about, it's our daily stuff, but it's also, how do I want the flow of my life to feel? So Pisces, let me pull a card for you now and see what the cards have to say for this fiery, bold, courageous, and confident Leo new moon. Pisces. Pisces, your card is leadership. That's Leo energy. Leadership is different for all of us, right? Not everyone sees leadership in the same way. And sometimes when I pull this card for clients, when I'm doing a one-on-one reading, people are like, oh, they think of it as running for an office or something like that, or, being the manager of a group, or there's a lot of ways to be in leadership. And what I love about this card is there is this bear walking through, and the bear represents our inner mother. The bear represents nurturing and comfort and protection. So, in a way, we could even look to the galaxies and the stars in the sky. A lot of this image is what's in the sky here, and say, this is leading you. This is taking you forward. A North Star. There's a North Star here. What is your North Star? Because just by being in your own energy, you are a leader for others. You are exuding who you are, your own soul essence. And that is its own form of leadership. But some of you may want to start something in which you would be the leader. Some of you may want to take something on at work. Maybe you want to increase your responsibilities in your job, or maybe you want to start your own company, your own organization. Maybe you want to do a meetup group. All of that is leadership as well. So, beautiful Pisces, if anything I shared either in the card or in your reading resonates, let us know in the comments below, and maybe you want to claim your leadership. That's a beautiful way to get the energy started and flowing. Aquarius, Aquarius, Aquarius. Pluto in your sign is definitely a player during this new moon. If you haven't watched the first part of this video, go back and watch it, because you may feel that energy. But just as much as we can feel the stress of Pluto, we can also feel the passion of Pluto. So you may be feeling the passion of Pluto with Pluto in your own sign. Feel free to share in the comments below. This new moon is happening for you in your 7th house of committed relationships. Committed relationships are not just relationships with romantic partners, although they're very much that, but they are also relationships with the close people in our lives or clients, business partners, anyone with whom we share time, money, and energy, or with whom there's a mutual reciprocity. They have your back, you have their back. There's a spoken or unspoken commitment to be there for one another. That is what this new moon is talking about. That is what this new moon is encouraging you to set an intention around. It's a new beginning in partnerships for you. It's a new beginning. And so that means that maybe you have a vision for a new kind of partnership in your life. Maybe you haven't been partnered in business before and you want to be. Maybe you haven't had a romantic partner and you want one, or maybe you want to transform your relationship with either of those kinds of people in your life, and you have a new vision, or you want to shift a pattern, or you want to shift a dynamic in a relationship. If something stressful happens during this new moon because of the opposition from the new moon to Pluto in your sign, Aquarius, it's showing you how far you come in your soul's evolution. It's showing you what is not healthy for you, what is toxic, or it's bringing up a fear that you are meant to process, transmute, transforming the pain into passion and enthusiasm. So, beautiful Aquarius, let us pull a card for you and see what the cards have to say. I encourage you to watch the first part of this video because there are a lot more nuances and you get the bigger picture of what this new moon, how it's playing a part in our soul's evolution as we are now in this new era with all the planets changing signs, and so many of them. Uranus, Saturn, and Neptune are all harmoniously supporting us during this new moon, which is so lovely. Okay, Aquarius. Beautiful Aquarius, your card is patience. You will soar. And not only will you soar, but you can soar, Aquarius. You can soar in the energy that you're in now. We can work with what we're in now. And the full moon that's coming after that, I see this full moon image, may be a time in which you are soaring, beautiful Aquarius. That full moon, after all, 2 weeks after this new moon, will be in your sign. So I love this image for you. It is saying fly free. It is saying claim your independence, claim your freedom. Be you. Be your pure, unbridled, free self, and have patience with others and with yourself as you're on your way, as you are in flight to the next greatest version of who you came here to be, beautiful Aquarius. Capricorn. Hello, beautiful Capricorn. Capricorn, you are going to experience this Leo new moon in your 8th house of power and control. This is the house of transformation, death, and rebirth. This is the house of emotional attachments. It is where we find our real estate, our assets, long-term, especially retirement funds and things that we want return on our money, where we're working with larger institutions often. Also taxes, loans, and any financial burdens if we have those. And then also emotional and sexual intimacy, shared resources, money from others. So financial themes and relationship themes, the deep primal ones that often trigger us emotionally, and this can trigger us in beautiful, ecstatic, deep, passionate ways, and it can trigger us in stressful or fearful ways. So Capricorn, I really encourage you to watch part 1 of this video because I'm talking in that part 1 about the opposition of the new moon to Pluto. And because Pluto is the ruler of the 8th house, that is especially pertinent for your energy. Not to say at all that you are going to experience a difficult Pluto transit during this new moon, I would have to see your natal astrology chart to see how the planets and points in your chart, especially planets or points in the fixed signs of Aquarius, Leo, Taurus, or Scorpio, how they're being affected by the new moon opposing Pluto. And of course, this is something I can illuminate for you in an astrology consultation. But some of you could have a beautiful experience of this new moon. And because it's relationship and money, you're going to be thinking about that. You're going to be thinking most likely about one or both of those things. These are the themes that are involved during this new moon. You could be thinking about your investments, for example. You could be thinking about, do I have enough money saved? Some of you may be thinking about retiring. You may be looking at your assets, wondering if you can do that. Others of you are going to be thinking about or working on a relationship or thinking about, maybe you're taking a relationship to the next level. Maybe you have been together and you've been committed and now you want to move in, or now you want to get married and start sharing more time, money, or resources. Those could be up for you as well. Let's pull a card for you, Capricorn, and see what the cards have to say. Capricorn, your card is release. I think this card may be for some of you simply you're releasing a fear. Everything could be flowing beautifully for you, but because we are now, we're seeding a new dream with Neptune and Saturn in Aries. And Neptune and Saturn in Aries, Aries energy squares your energy. So there's a bit of tension or pressure with that new dream and your energy, Capricorn. So it could be that you're releasing, or it could be that you're releasing a fear that comes up during this new moon. But remember, fear, false evidence appearing real. Sometimes fear has a point. We don't know until we move through that fear with our breath, with tapping, with however you release fear. We all have our favorite modality. And if you don't have a modality, I encourage you to find one and use it so you can lighten your load, beautiful Capricorn, and enjoy this gorgeous Leo new moon. Let the past go. Let your old leaves fall to the ground and turn to compost, because you are this red hot rooted tree that is ready to blossom even more. And I mean red hot in the most beautiful way. Sagittarius, Sagittarius, beautiful Sagittarius. Sagittarius, Sag. You are going to experience this new moon in Leo, trining your energy, wind filling up your sails, wind at your back, pulling you forward in a beautiful house, the 9th house of expansion, Sagittarius. I think you're going to love this new moon. This is a natural place for you because the 9th house is already associated with your energy. And it's a place that you shine. You are the seeker. The 9th house is the house of seeking. It's the house of the spiritual quest. It is the house of higher learning, expanding our minds, teaching, publishing, broadcasting, podcasting. It is the house of wanting to reach a higher perspective, wanting to transcend our current reality or our current woes, or where we may feel like there's a glass ceiling, or where we may feel like we don't have what it takes to accomplish what we want to accomplish. This new moon is saying, no, we can expand our minds, especially as Sag. We have Uranus and Gemini helping us to do that. Uranus, the great awakener, helping us to open our minds up to new possibilities. So this is a beautiful new moon for you. And if you want to leave something behind as part of your new moon intention, that can be part of it too. Usually we leave things behind and release and all of let go during a full moon, but this new moon is the beginning of the whole process of the new to the full moon. So some of you may want to release a religion, and some of you may want to, leave a place that you're in now and move someplace or travel someplace that is far away. That's the 9th house too. Big picture, this is the house of new horizons and new scenery and mind expansion and soul expansion, like expanding your perspective and your vision so that you can see with new eyes, Sag. So let me pull a card for you and see what the cards have to say. Sag. Your card is stillness. Sag, you are the swan. Do you see yourself as a swan? Do you see yourself? Do you see how luminous this card? You are luminescent. I feel that that is the message of this card. It says stillness, and some of you may really benefit from going into stillness. But the alternative or additional message that I'm getting is you are this gorgeous velvety swan, and you are meant to see yourself as that. If you remember the story of the ugly duckling, I know a lot of us on a spiritual path, we we have grown up in families or been in situations where we have not seen our swan nature because we were the swan among the ducks, right? Not to make the ducks wrong or anything like that. But that's a story that you might want to revisit or reflect on if that resonates for you. So much sparkliness to this card and beauty and grace. If you want to claim your beauty, your grace, your swan nature in the comments below, let us know, Sag. I would love to hear. Scorpio. Hello, beautiful Scorpio. Scorpio, you're going to experience this new moon in Leo in your 10th house. The 10th house is the house of how you want to spend your one wild and precious life, as Mary Oliver describes it so beautifully. Scorpio, this is also the house of career, life purpose expressed, retirement, semi-retirement, what you want to do with your time that brings you meaning, passion, or fulfillment. The 10th house is where we often experience some sort of recognition, some sort of feeling like we are making our way up leveling, whatever that means for you. That's not a goal for everyone. I understand that. But the 10th house is considered a more ambitious house because it's connected to Capricorn energy. So the question is, what are your values now? What is most important to you now? And what do you want in this 10th house arena? How would you feel most fulfilled? Are you living your purpose? Do you know your purpose? Is there something that you would prefer to be doing with your time? This is the time to seed intentions for that, to daydream, to mindstorm, heartstorm with others if you'd like, or with your own divine source to reflect on. Scorpio, this new moon makes a square to your energy, which means you may feel some tension or pressure, but also some motivation to soften that energy and release it during this new moon. Squares get us going. Squares are the things that without them, we probably wouldn't do half the things that we really want to do. They give us the oomph, the energy to get moving, and that's the positive of a square. So let me pull a card for you now and see what the cards have to say. And it's making a square because it's an angle of your chart. That's what the 10th house is, and that's one of the most important areas of life for most of us. Hence, the motivation and the drive to feel fulfilled in this area of your life. So your card is solitude. Interesting, the last card, I think, or the card before that was stillness, and this one's solitude. Not surprising because we have Mercury retrograde, we have Saturn and Neptune retrograde, and Pluto retrograde during this new moon. So Scorpio, this could also be a time that would be good for taking some time out, for taking a little vacation or a trip or something that would allow you to disconnect. Or maybe you just disconnect from your devices. I know that's hard to do in this day and age for most of us. But what does this image evoke for you? It is saying when you are in your own energy, when you feel like you're in a place of solitude, whether it's a physical place or a place that takes you there in your own mind, your own consciousness, your own imagination, that's when you can get the illumination that this full moon represents, the illumination of what your heart and mind most want. Beautiful Scorpio. So if you want to claim your solitude, your time out, your rest and relaxation, perhaps for some of you, let us know in the comments below. Libra. Hello, beautiful Libra. Libra, you are going to experience this Leo new moon which harmonizes with your energy in your 11th house of hopes, wishes, and dreams. The 11th house is the house of fulfillment. What would make you feel deeply happy and or peaceful or content? Beautiful Libra. The 11th house is where we get support from others. It's the house of alliances. Social media platforms, often where if you are putting your work out into the world, where you receive the support that you deserve so that you can do that work. So it's often like audiences or followers. Also, it is the house of the world card in the tarot. The world is your oyster. It really is a card where we are rising above life and we are seeing from a bigger picture, what does our heart most want? Also, long-term financial gains. This is also the house of branding and promotion and friendships. Friendships is a very important theme in 11th house energy. So a new moon here says, what do you want in your life with your friends? What do you want with support? Do you want to start something new that you will then brand or promote? Are you thinking about long-term financial stuff? What does your heart most want? What is your dream right now? What is your current dream, the current dream of your life, Libra? That is what this new moon is supporting you to plant seeds for, to intend, to vision board about, or write down your ideal day, or script. You know, scripting is also a powerful tool. Whatever it is that you like to do to get the juices flowing for what your heart really wants. Beautiful Libra. This is the time to do that. Let us pull a card for you and watch the first part of this video if you want to know more about the nuances of this new moon, including the opposition to Pluto and all the harmonizing energy, that the supportive energy that's going on with the other outer planets. Okay, here we go. Libra, your card is Purity. I love this card so much. I love it because of its mystical nature. I love the emerald eye and the blue eye. And I love the soft, sweet warmth of this fox. I believe it's a fox. And it's recognizing your purity. It's recognizing, and I think it's calling on you to recognize that you have a deep soul of pure love, that you are pure. If you are holding anything against yourself, if you have any regrets, if you have any grievance toward yourself or another, anything to forgive, any resentment, Libra, this is the time to release that. Release fear, release any emotional baggage. We can't be in relationship with others or in relationship with work or in relationship with friends or lovers or whatever, right? If we are whole, we can be, but it's really hard to feel the love when we're resenting someone or we're harboring anger or we're harboring any sort of pain. It's bad for us, it's bad for them, it's bad for our relationship. So this is saying you are a spirit of pure love. To get yourself back to that feeling place of being a spirit of pure love, we have to release anything that's in the way of that. If you want to claim your purity and your mystical nature, that's what I see in the eyes of this beautiful animal. If you want to claim that, and your wisdom, your ability to strategize. And, you know, sometimes with the Pluto aspect to a new moon, like we're getting with this new moon, there's smart strategy, boundary setting that's advantageous for us to implement during a new moon. Moving through whatever you're going through in a way that's self-loving and respecting of others. Beautiful Libra. Virgo. Hello, beautiful Virgo. Virgo, you are going to experience this Leo new moon, a fiery, courageous, bold, really sparkly new moon. You're going to experience it in your 12th house of rest, retreat, the mystic. This is the house of deep spiritual awakening, intense dreams, the house of reprogramming the subconscious mind, which could be up for you because this Leo new moon energy, as I speak about in part 1 of the video, is getting so many beautiful aspects from some of the outer planets, but also a challenging aspect from Pluto. And so you could be experiencing a desire to change your inner narrative, which often comes up in 12th house energies. Also, you could have some sort of a meeting or a conversation or something that's unexpected that happens. You know, we've got that sextile from Uranus and Gemini, and that Uranus and Gemini energy does square your energy, Virgo. So there could be something that comes up that you weren't expecting that has to do with a karmic relationship or a past life experience that is meant for you to move through and clear. And I say this because the 12th house is also connected to past lifetimes and karmic bonds. So, you know, this is a beautiful new moon, and it's no less beautiful because it's happening in your 12th house. The 12th house gets a bad rap. I have a stellium of planets in the 12th house, so I know this well. It gets a bad rap, but it's really our deepest spiritual power, our psychic power, our ability to help others. And a 12th house transit, which is what you're getting with this new moon, can really open you up to seeing yourself or your life or something that you desire, because this is Leo energy, with new eyes. So it can be quite transformative, and you could get an epiphany in a nighttime dream. You could get a revelation through a conversation with another person. So let us see what the cards have to say. I think this will be you may have a desire to have a quiet time during this new moon. Although it is Leo energy, and Leo's romantic and fun, and usually we want to get out and socialize, but don't be surprised, Virgo, if during a 12th house new moon, you just want to be, even though it's Leo energy, you just want to be in solitude, because the 12th house is where we need solitude. We need to be in our own energy because 12th house energies are so sensitive. We're so highly sensitive with 12th house energies. Often we need that time just to feel the purity of our own soul without any energetic influence from others. Okay, so Virgo, let's see what the cards have to say for you for this Leo new moon, Virgo. Your card is, yes, blessings. So beautiful, Virgo. I love this card. It's one of the prettiest cards in this deck. I love the sweetness of this bird. This is, I don't know if this yellow bird is a canary, but you know, canaries are yellow. And that reminds me of communication and speaking and getting information or revelation. So you might get that. But also the blooming of the pink trees, the softness and the sweetness of pink energy, and the flowing water here. You are meant to receive blessings during this new moon. Beautiful, Virgo. This card really speaks for itself. It's like the spring or the summer coming out in your life. If you want to claim this card message, the blessings, claim your blessings, let us know in the comments below. My beautiful friend, I am so glad that you joined us for this Leo new moon video. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving this video a like, for giving it a thumbs up. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing. When you subscribe to the channel, you ignite the algorithm that puts this video out into suggested videos, and that makes a huge difference to the support of the channel. Thank you so much for that support. If you would like to do a private one-on-one astrology reading with me or a coaching session, go to my website, check out my offerings, check out the testimonials that other clients have shared after working with me. You have lots of choices for readings. We can do a heart's desire, a life purpose, a natal chart, or a 90-minute astrology consultation if you would like more time to discuss something that is very important to you. I offer clarity coaching sessions if you would like that kind of support. The links to both my coaching and my astrology pages are in the description box below, and it will be my absolute joy to meet you on Zoom. I have a wonderful free gift for you. That free gift is a soothing guided meditation that will connect you to your deep, unconditionally loving, spiritual people, your guides, those that love you on the other side. But also, if you want to receive a gift from the divine, go to my website, subscribe for free to my weekly inspirational astrology updates, and you will get that free instant download guided meditation at the same time. My beautiful friend, let us know what you are feeling, thinking, sensing about this Leo new moon. I love to hear your insights as well. Drop a comment down below, and until my next video, I am sending you all my love.